I have clicked properties, right? Once I click properties, you can find open file location. And you
Okay.
click this open file location, you will get your Python folder. You
Okay.
just click and you press CMD.
Okay.
Okay. And
Let me try now.
now you type Python. And here import sys.ps1 equal to
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. I'll try, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
I think Sabha, you can start the regular class.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So good evening to one and all present here. And
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
good evening. Good evening, sir. And today let us have a discussion on functions, various types of functions and some special functions. And if time permits, SQLite through modules. Okay. And yesterday a ma'am asked me to demonstrate this SQLite. Whether she is present now, what is her name? Okay, we'll come to that later. And before that, Ginny ma'am, can you please summarize on yesterday's topic? Or someone else, please summarize.
Properties of keys, ma'am.
Start with dictionary, sir.
Yes. Keys with
Dictionary.
unique.
Okay.
And then hash, my dict, no. So we are bounding the data visualization.
Yes, sir. So we started with tabular data format, and then comes into picture dictionary. What is a dictionary? How items are stored into the dictionary? What is the role of hash function there? What are the properties of dictionary keys? And what are the various methods associated with the dictionary? And what else? Then shallow copy, deep copy with respect to dictionaries, and then data visualization chart, where we used dictionary to convert array of same type into a name value pair, and then we extracted the keys as a separate list, the values as a separate list, and then we plotted a line graph. Okay. And today let us get into functions. And as you know, functions are reusable units, right? So if we are asked to write a larger application, we'll be writing so many line of codes, and at times whenever a certain set of instructions are required for more number of times, what we can do is we can put all those statements into a single unit, give it a name, and whenever required, you can call the function by its name. So this leads to code reusability. You are defining it once, and whenever required, you are making use of that. Okay. So this is about functions, and when we speak about functions, some functions, certain functions will do the task, and certain functions will do the task and return the value, right? At the same time, functions may take arguments, function may return values. We have different combinations, right? Takes argument, returns value, does not take argument, does not return value. Like that, we have few combinations. Right? The same, Python 2 has the same. And let me demonstrate one by one. And let me enter into script now. Python contest.py. Yes, sorry, not right. Test.py. Okay. Let me define a function, say greet. Greet and calling a print function. Hello. That's it. So whenever we define a function, hello. So whenever we define a function, after the function definition, leave 2 blank lines. This is the best practice which is recommended by PEP8. Okay. And now invoke the function greet. What are the characteristics of this function greet? What are the characteristics of this function greet?
It has no parameters,
No parameters,
no return statement.
no return statement. Exactly. In dot that calls another predefined function print. Okay. So let us execute this. Yeah, hello is returned. Okay. Now the print function is not returning anything. Here, okay, it is not returning any value from the function. So if that is the case, by default, all functions return none. Let us check whether the function returns none or not. So print of greet dot. So now what happens?
Hello, none.
Exactly, hello none. So why hello and why none?
Hello is the first. We have given a print statement
Hello
inside
is
the
the
function.
function call.
Yes,
And
and
the none is, since the function does not return any value by default, print returns none. Okay. If you explicitly return something, then you won't get none. Just check that too. It is not returning none. Instead, because we are using a print statement, right? So the 2 dots are displayed instead of none. Okay. Okay. Then arguments. So you can pass arguments. You can format them. We'll see that. Let me remove this print. And let me remove this return statement. And let us try to pass some argument here. Saba, comma, Harriet. Okay. So what should I write here in the function definition? Let me use the first name, comma, last name, and I'd like to format it. So say F, and use some kind of interpolation. First name and then last. Okay. Yes, we got it. Hello, first name, last name. Okay. So we are passing arguments, and it's always a best practice to return the values from the function, right? Because why they say it as a best practice is, if you are not returning the value and if you are printing the value inside the function itself, if you are doing so, it will be printed only at the console. At the same time, if you want to get the value and if you want to pass the value to your file, or if you want to write the values into your file, or if you want to put them into a database, then definitely you need the value returned by the function. So always it's the best practice to return the value from the function. Okay. Great. So let us change it to, instead of this print, let me use return and message equal to, and then print message. Okay, so your function receives and then it formats the string and returns the formatted string, and here the return string is received by a reference message, and then you are printing the reference to get the message, right? Okay. And the next one is keyword arguments. Okay, so let me define another function. Say def increment. Def increment. You are incrementing a number by another number. Okay, you are incrementing a number by another number, and you return the number plus 5. You're just incrementing, that's it. Okay. So now print increment of 2, 1. What does it return now? What will be the value?
3. 3.
Yeah, it's 3. Okay. But when you look at this function call statement, you are passing two constants, right? 2, 1. But someone who sees only the function call, they do not know, they won't get an idea what is this 2 and what is this 1. Is it not? So how will you improve the readability of this function call? There are different ways. How will you improve the readability of this function call?
Can give increment within brackets, number is equal to 2, by is equal to 1. That is using keyword.
Number is equal to 2 and by is equal to 1. So here comes keyword as a keyword argument. Okay. So this is number equal to 2 and number equal to 2 and by equal to 1. So this is very explicit, right? The function name is increment. 2 arguments are there. One is number, another one is byte. So whoever reads this, they can understand this function is to increment the number 2 by the number 1. So otherwise you can just pass number comma byte. That's also right. Okay, number comma byte where you pass arguments. But at the same time, if you wanted to always increment the number by 1, Got it? If you always wanted to increment the number by 1, then in that case you can have number comma by equal to 1. But just before this you have to read what is number. Number equal to some include statement. You can pass that number comma, then you can have a by equal to 1. Okay, so this is an example for keyword argument. Now let us try to execute this. Okay, you got the same 3. Okay, but now at this point, let me try to reorder it. Say by equal to 1, comma, number equal to 2. By equal to 1 and number equal to 2. So inside the function, what will be the value of number and what will be the value of by?
Number is 2 and by is 1.
Number is 2 because we are passing keyword argument. Okay, therefore the value of number is 2 and the value of by is always 1. So we get 3. Okay. Now let us try to change it and see what happens. Okay, why this error?
Because first we have to give the positional arguments, which is 2.
Yes, so there is a case that this positional and non-positional, okay, that plays an important role. And here the positional argument follows what? Keyword argument, right? It's a syntax error. Positional argument follows keyword argument. So you should not do it like this. So in such cases, you can go for partial functions. I'll demonstrate another program for partial functions so that you can have a better understanding on this partial function. Okay. Right. So this is about keyword argument. So whatever keyword you pass, the same keyword should appear in the function definition also, and the order of the keyword and its value need not be in a sequence fashion. Your order can be in any form. Okay. And the next one is default argument. So what is this default argument? What is the difference between keyword argument and default argument?
Keyword argument, we can use it in the function called default argument. A default value can be given for the parameters inside the function definition.
Okay. Let me try to demonstrate that too. So print increment 2, 1. So this is an ordinary function, okay, and I am setting here by equal to 5, okay. So the default argument, the default value for the reference by is set as 5 here, right? So what happens if I didn't pass the second argument in the function call?
Default value will be taken, ma'am.
Default value will be taken into account. So the number will be incremented by 5. Okay. Okay. So in the first case, I have passed the value for by, so it is incremented by 1, and in the second case I haven't passed, so by default we have set the value as 5, so the number 2 is incremented by 5. Okay, and here too, non-default arguments should not follow default arguments, so you should be very careful. So what happens if I write def increment by equal to 5 comma number? Let me remove.
Raise an error.
Yeah, it raises an error as in the previous case. Okay. Now let us see what error we get. What is the error message? See, non-default argument follows default argument. So non-default argument should not follow default arguments. Okay, so again, in this case, you can go for a partial function. I'll give you a better example for partial functions, right? So imagine you are asked to process your email ID, right? And you all belong to DFT group. So all your email IDs will be like this. Say Sara@dft.edu.in. Right? So all the teachers will be having a common domain name. Okay. So actually this Sara is the ID and this is your domain name. Okay. Exactly speaking, this is the domain name and this is the type of the domain. Okay, fine. Now you have an application where your application should process this email ID. Okay. As a part of the application, this email ID should be processed. Okay. So now the thing here is you have 100 faculty members and you have to get the email ID of the 100 faculty members and you have to store there in the database or something you wanted to do. Okay. So in order to get or in order to input the email ID, assume there are text boxes or some console, you have written some console application where you have to enter the email, you have to enter the complete email address of all the 100 faculty members. Okay. So since the domain name is common to all, what you can do is you can use partial function and you can initialize the domain as dft.edu.in and at runtime you just read only the email ID and your partial function will do all this append process and you can push your email ID into your database. Okay. So let us try that. First, let me start with the multiply function and then I'll explain that email. Say x comma y comma z and return x into y into z. That's it. Okay. So multiply x equal to 10 comma y equal to 5 comma z is equal to 1. Okay. So what type of argument is this?
Keyword argument.
It's keyword argument. Let us try to execute this first. So we get the answer as 50. Okay. Now let me remove this y. Let me remove this y.
Is it necessary to have the 1 minute? Is it necessary to have the same name x equal to 10, y equal to 5 like that, or we can have ABC, a equal to 10 like that?
If it is keyword, it should be x, y, z, sir.
What will happen if I put a equal to 10?
Let me try.
A equal to 10, b equal to 5,
A equal to 10,
b equal to 5,
b equal to 5.
comma, z
Then in
equal to 1.
this case, the
And
order
c
cannot be preserved.
c equal to 1. Yeah.
C equal to 1.
Yeah, just run the program.
Got
Okay.
an unexpected keyword.
Unexpected or
Because the keyword argument also look into the what even the order can be changed. No, sir. When you pass argument.
So my question is, in a distributed application, if the function is elsewhere, if the function is a web service and it is available elsewhere, but only if you know the name of the arguments, then only we can use the keyword parameters.
Yes, yes. That obviously you can get it from the WSDL interface.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. So let this is X. Let us drop this and Z. Now here comes the positional argument error, right? Right? X is that?
Y is not there.
Yeah, y is not there.
Yeah. In the function call, have you given capital Z, ma'am?
This is capital Z. Okay, we are getting this required one positional argument y. So such kind of problems can be solved through this partial function. And this partial function is available in the functool module. So from functools import partial. Import partial. Now let me write say m equal to this partial function. The first argument is always the function object. So it is multiply, comma, say x equal to 10, comma, y equal to 5. Z is equal to 1. Okay. And now, so 10, the value 10 is set to x and the value 1 is set to z. Okay. And y is dynamic. So at runtime, you can get the value of y and you can pass y to this partial object m in order to execute the multiply function. So let me replace this. So this is your partial object m and this takes the y value. Say that will be 5. Okay. So it got 50. This is how your partial function works. And now let us get into another example where.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, in the last print statement, you have passed the value for y, no, ma'am?
Yes.
Can we use an input statement instead of y?
Definitely, you can get the value and you can pass there.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, that's why I told you at runtime you can get different values and.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Let's change the value of y to 2 here. Okay. So hope now you understood what is the importance of partial function here.
Yes.
Right. So you are changing the value of one keyword at runtime, but here I have passed it as a constant. Right. Now someone tell me to write or to define a function to return the email address. I told the scenario earlier, right? So let the function name is email and it takes ID, comma, domain and it returns the message ID concatenated with that
plus
with
domain.
edu
with dft dot edu
dot in.
I think I can give it in the function call, right? Partial function call I can give. So let it be domain. Okay, you're concatenating two strings and returning the email. Okay, fine. And now So let this be email and the domain equal to what is that at dft.edu.in. That is correct. Okay. And let us try to get it. Okay. ID equal to
Input,
dot
enter,
enter
ID.
email ID. You are not entering the address. You are entering only the email ID. Let us check whether it works or not. Asking for email ID. Sarah, it returns. Okay. So again, if I want to get, you can put it in a loop, right? You can put it in a loop and you can call it n number of times. So based on your application, your requirement, in order to reduce the reduce the human intervention, you can think and you can code in this manner. So actually here you are preventing unnecessarily passing the domain name to your function every time. Okay, and then at runtime you are getting only the email ID. You are not entering the domain because it's already fixed. So such part of string combinations or any computations you can do through this partial functions, right? And the next one is variable length argument. So let me delete all this content. What is that variable length? Yes.
whether the same can be done with the help of default arguments.
You can do, ma'am, but what happens if you miss any one default argument there? You can do. But time to time, you have to call the function by passing everything. If you set the default value for your domain, then as you said, you can do it with your default argument also. You are right, ma'am. You can do it with default argument also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay? But in that case, what will happen is every time if you are reading 10 names, your function will be called 10 times and 10 times the return, that concatenation happens and it returns. And here, when you are using your partial function inside the loop, your function will be called, but some time saving is there. I can't prove it now, but some time savings is there. You can try by importing the module required for time calculation, and you can use certain methods available to calculate the execution time, and you can check. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
There are some applications where you cannot pass this default argument always. If you are going for nesting kind of things, in one if you are using another if, there are certain applications where this default argument will not work always. If possible, I'll try to bring one snippet tomorrow. Okay. There are cases that I am very sure about that. Okay. What is variable length argument? What is variable length argument? Yesterday too, we had a discussion, brief discussion on this variable length argument. Yesterday or day before yesterday, we had this variable length. Yesterday too.
During function definition, we may have given 3 arguments, but during function call, I would have given 5 values. That is variable length arguments.
Okay, we'll try. So the same def multiply, say x and y, and return product of x and y, and then use multiply of 2, 3. Okay. Print. So we know what will be the result. We know. Okay. Suppose if I want to call a function with more number of values, say 2, 3, 4, 5. What will I get now when the second statement when the second function call get executed? It throws some error, right? Because here I have I'm passing 4 values, but only 2 people are there to receive, right? So there are applications where I need to pass variable length argument. So time to time, when I call the same function, I need different number of values to be passed. In that cases, you can go for this variable length argument, and this is very simple. No need to write all these things. Just use star numbers, okay? And let us try to print and see what is the data type it returns. Okay. Can you guess what will be the data type? If you print numbers, what will be the data type?
Integers, I don't know.
Integers.
Or tuples.
Exactly. The other day we discussed packing and unpacking, right? Let us see. So let the numbers be 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it's a tuple. Okay. And why a none is displayed?
There is no return statement.
Yes, there is no return statement. Okay. Now let us try to have some implementation, right? Let us multiply all the numbers present in the tuple. So how will you do that? So let us initialize total equal to 1. Then someone tell me the data type of numbers is tuple, which is an iterable one, right? Now
So
tell me what should I type here? For number in
FOR, ma'am. For number.
Okay. For number in
Numbers.
then what should I do?
Total.
Total is equal to
Total plus 1.
total into
Plus
Into number.
into number.
Yeah, total into number. Total into number. And then what should I do? Shall we return the total?
So print total. Ma.
Return total.
You must be very careful while writing the return statement. Strictly follow the intent. Otherwise, it tries to return for every iteration. So m is equal to print m. Right. So we have passed some 4 numbers and we have received it through a variable length argument, which is a tuple. Since it is an iterable one, we are using a for loop, we are iterating and we are getting each and every element present in the tuple and we are doing some computation. Okay, so we got it as 120. Okay, fine. So comma 7, comma 9, comma 12, comma 3, comma 4. What happens now?
Calculate.
Yeah, it will be successfully passed, successfully received at the other end, and the computation will be successful, and we have got the results. Okay, so this is what variable length argument. And now here we are passing sequence of numbers, okay, which are only values. This 2, 3, 4, 5 are all said to be only values, right? And the next case is, I would like to pass data in a tabular structure. I want to pass them as a tabular structure, and I want to receive them in the same way, and I want to process them as a tabular structure, right? And here comes variable length keyword arguments. Earlier it is variable length argument, now it is variable length keyword argument. Okay, so let us try that. Say def user detail, and this variable length keyword argument is denoted using double star user info. Okay. And first let us try to print the user info.
Ma'am, user info is variable length argument, ma'am.
Variable length keyword argument.
Okay.
So let us call this function by passing keyword arguments. Okay. So what is a keyword argument? Say roll equal to 1117, comma name equal to SCBA, comma department equal to IT. So in the previous case, we passed only values. Here we are passing the keyword and its value. Okay. So now can you guess what will be the data type of user info received by the function? What was the type? What was the type in case of variable length argument?
It is a tuple.
It was a tuple, right? Now in this case, when you pass this variable length keyword argument, yes, we shall check. Okay, so it's converted to a dictionary where your keywords role, name, department act as a key, and the value 1117 SEBA IT act as values to the respective keys. Okay, fine. And let me give one more set of keyword arguments. So designation equal to so first time we passed 1, 2, 3, three keyword argument pair, and the second time we are passing 4. Okay, so this numbers does not matter. Okay, you can give any number of keyword, or you can pass any number of keyword arguments. So your function has the capability to receive all those. It converts or it maintains as a dictionary. And you can see here. So the second case, you can find the designation also. Okay. So this is about variable length keyword argument. And next let us have a discussion on filter, map, reduce. And before that, let me explain what is a lambda function. Okay. So let us define a function to calculate the square of a number. Say A. Okay. So return what? A into A, right? And here we are getting its result. Result equal to, we are calling the function and let us pass 5 as argument, and then we are printing the result. We know what will be the answer to this. Okay. Now, let's to define this function, 2 lines are required. But actually, there is 1 line of computation. And what is that 1 line of computation? What is that 1 line of computation? A into A. You are calculating the square. Only a square calculation part is there. And to this, it requires 2 lines. Okay. And there is a function called anonymous function, or otherwise known as lambda function or lambda expression. And this lambda expression can be used only if there is only 1 expression. You can have only 1 expression as anonymous function or otherwise lambda function. Okay. So these 2 lines can be replaced by a single line. Say what is required here is the argument A. Okay, the argument A is required, and then the computation A into A is required, right? And in order to state that this is an anonymous function, you have to use lambda space. Okay, and at the same time it returns some value. Let us assign it to a reference, and let us print the reference. Where the reference is
LAMBDA.
Lambda.
And you can remove this. See, it is so simple, right? So at this point, there is no name to the function. There is no name to the function. It's a nameless function. Only to tell the interpreter that it is nameless, you are using the lambda word there, and following lambda, you have to mention the arguments required to this function and put a colon, and then you can have the expression. Finally, it returns something. So to receive that, there should be somebody to receive, and that is your F. Clear? Yeah, here I am using result, right?
F of 5, no? F.
So the lambda function reference, sorry, I'm very sorry, the lambda function reference is F. I'm using that reference here, and I am passing 5 as argument. Okay. Now, if I want to have another variable, say B, you can have that, sorry, after comma, you can add it here, and you can use it in the expression, and you can pass it. Okay. That's it. So the condition is you can have only 1 expression. How complex it is, that doesn't matter. You can have only 1 expression, and what are all the arguments you are using, that should appear in the expression. Right? Okay. So let us keep this lambda aside, and then let us move on to this map. Then what? Map, reduce, and filter. Okay. So before that, let me type something here. say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Assume this is the input. Okay, so this is the input, and I'll write an output, and you have to find out and tell me what is the logic behind. Okay. Wait, just a second. Okay, this is the input. So this is the input, and the output is 56. I have given the input, I have given the output. Can you tell me what is the logic for it? Input is given, output is given. What is the what is the logic behind? Please guess. Shall I give a clue?
23.
Shall I give a clue?
Yes, ma'am.
My first clue is even number.
Two square, 4 square, 6 square. 2 square.
Is it Palani sir?
Yes, ma'am. 2 square, 4 square, 6 square, ma'am.
Then
Plus addition of 2 square plus 4 square plus 6 square.
2 square plus 4 square plus 6 square. I really appreciate Palani sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Palani sir, for your answer. Exactly. This is the logic behind. Okay. So in order to implement this logic, certain things are required, right? You have your input in the form of a list. You cannot take all the values which are available in the list to get 56. Is it not? Well, what step we have to follow? You think an answer?
You have to check the input whether the input is an even number first.
Yes, yes. So which means, shall we say we are filtering even numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So filter even numbers. Fine. Now we have filtered even numbers, right? Your list consists of 2, 4, 6. What next?
Mod of
You have
2 is
to-
equal to 0.
That logic is done to filter even numbers. What next?
We have to find out the square of the even numbers.
Yes, square of this filtered value.
Even numbers, yes.
Shall we say we are mapping the list to an operation?
Okay.
The operation is squaring, right? We are mapping the even numbers to an operation, say square. Okay, we have squared it. Then
Addition. So,
addition. After addition, what you get?
the output.
Output. How many values are there?
There are 3 values.
After addition,
One value.
Only one value.
Only one value. Only one value.
Shall we say it as reduce?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you have an input. You are applying some filters to get the even numbers. Then you are applying some. You are mapping all the even numbers to an operation, say square. After that, you are finding the sum so that you are reducing it to a single value. This is the idea behind this filter, map, reduce. Okay, this is a very simple example. And first, let me try to demonstrate this, and let me try to explain this in a solving a real world problem. Okay. Let me open the same fun test. Okay. So num or numbers. Nums equal to say a list, right? So which is let us consider the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this is our list. What is the first step? We have to filter
Even numbers.
filter even numbers out of this. Already you have studied about list comprehension where you can apply some conditions. Hope you remember. Yes. For I for some value for, then you can have it has got a syntax, right, to do this what list comprehension. What is the syntax for list comprehension? Can someone tell me what is the syntax? You have value. What is the syntax, ma'am? Your value equal to
expression, then
comes for
looping, then condition.
then comes value in condition collection, and then only in the end you can have your filter, which is the condition, if condition. You can do in that way also, but you have functions for that. Okay, so there is a function filter, and what you are going to filter, you are filtering this nums list, right? Yes, you are filtering this nums list. Okay, and always the first argument to this filter function is a function object. Okay, and let me write is even. So this is even is not a predefined one, it's a user defined function. We have to define it now. Okay, so, and one more, it should return a list type, right? Okay, and now let us assign this to another variable, say even. So you are calling the filter function, and your filter function's first argument is always a function object, and let the function object be is even, which should be defined by as, and the second one is the numbers. Okay, so the thing is this second argument should be an iterable one. Okay, the second argument should be an iterable one, and for each and every element, this is even is invoked. Understood? It is not the nums are passed to this is even, and it is called only once. It is not like that. For every iterable object present in the list, this is even is called. So now it is our responsibility to define this is even. So let us define it. Def is even of, say, n, and
Return.
yes, return n mod 2. I'm writing the condition. If this condition is true, you return it. Okay, so what happens here? First time 1 is passed to this is even function. 1 is passed here. Okay, let me annotate. First time 1 is passed. 1 mod 2 equal to 0. Yes or no?
False.
False.
False. So you won't get any value here. And second time 2 is passed. 2 mod 2 is 0. So this returns what?
2.
2. The same way it gets 4 and it gets 6. Okay. So now let us check whether even contains 2, 4, 6. So let us print this and check. Okay, fine. This is working fine. So now the filtration process is over, right? Then comes the operation mapping. So let us try to do that. We are making square, right? We are making square, and there is a function called map, and to this map we should pass this even list. You have to pass this even list. Only to this even list you are mapping a square function. Again, the first argument to the map function is a function object. So let us define a square function here. Again, this is a user defined function, and this map, again we are converting the result into a list here. Okay, so let us define this square SQ method, SQ function. So SQ of say n, and what should be returned here?
Return n
Written
asterisk n. N asterisk n is n asterisk n.
N. Should we place any condition here? No need, because
ma'am.
already we have
Already filtered only.
we are passing only the filtered list. Okay, and let us check whether we get the squares in a list. So print list square. Yeah, we got it, right? 2 square,
Yes.
square, and 6 square. Okay. So let me remove this. And what is the third one?
Reduce.
Reduce. So what we have to do here in reduce?
We have to
Filter.
add all the
Add.
Yes, we have
square.
to add, and finally we get a result, right? A reduced result. So this is equal to, and there is a function reduce, right? What we have to reduce? We have to reduce the square list. We have to reduce the square list. Again, this the first argument to this function should be a function object. So
Defined function.
yeah, let us have it as add, and since it's a user defined function, we have to define it. Add of say S. Okay. We have to add everything, right? Okay.
How it is possible to have S?
We can use variable, no, not variable, it is possible.
Ma'am, when you are
We can use for statement, ma'am.
No, every time, for the first time, add takes square of 2, then since square is iterable and square consists of 3 elements, right? Square consists of 3 elements, right?
It's from the list only, no, ma'am?
Yes, it's from the list only. Okay, let me try like this. Finally, we are not going to place all this def functions, because have you noticed all the def function has only a single statement. Let me check whether this works. Print. Yes. Yes. So this reduce function is available in functools. So from functools import. So yes, it's returning the value 56. Okay, but I'll tell this, right? I'll find out how this A and B getting its value from this iterable list. Okay, fine. Actually, I directly tried this with lambda. Okay, I'll clear this tomorrow, right? And now look at this file. This is a very lengthy code, right? And we know that if there is a single expression, you just remove this line, and instead of this, you can have your lambda function. Okay? So at this point, instead of passing the function object, why don't we have a lambda function? Say lambda n colon the condition n mod 2. Is it not? So now you can remove this. Okay. And here in SQ, you can use lambda and n colon. We are squaring it, right? So n into
Star m.
And here, now you can remove this, right? And the next is, you can replace this with the lambda function. So lambda a comma b
colon a plus b.
Okay, and you can remove this. So now listen, we have reduced the line of codes, right?
You have to include a n mod 2 equal to 0, no ma'am?
Condition.
Yes.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay. So now let us check whether we will get the output or not. We are getting. So imagine earlier we used a lot of function definitions there, and now we started replacing those functions with this lambda expression, and now your program is shorter and it is cleaner, right? So this is the beauty of Python programming language, which you cannot find in other programming languages. Okay, and in real world, you might have heard about big data analytics, right? What you actually do in this big data analytics? Nowadays, people are talking about big data analytics. What people will be doing in this big data analytics? Imagine you are trying to get the texts which are available in websites. Okay, so you wanted to find out what kind of website it is. So you are trying to get all the content which is available in the website, and you have got those content. Okay, can you imagine this? I say, let us speak about a very big website. Okay, so there will be lot of text, right? Lot of text available, and you have scrapped all those texts. Okay, and now you have a large volume of data in hand, and what you have to do here is, or you imagine you are trying to get some tweets. Okay, you are trying to get some tweets You are collecting all the tweets through some web scraping program, and your tweets are ready, and the tweets are about a product. Okay, so let us say this Johnson and Johnson product. You have collected all the tweets. People have tweeted about that product. You have collected it. Okay, now you have kept the data ready. You are trying to get some information out of this product. Say people are buying which Johnson's product more. Okay, so this is the case. Have extracted all the data, and do you think all the words which you have collected from the tweets are required to find out which product is on more sale? You have collected all the tweets from the websites. Okay, and now you want to extract an information which should be like which Johnson's product is sold highly in the market. Okay, this is what you are trying to get out of that. Do you think all the, you have collected the tweets and it consists of lot of words. So do you think all those words will be helpful to you to reach your target or to find out your target?
No, ma'am.
No.
Certain words are not at all required, right? Can you give examples of such words?
Yesterday we did, na ma'am. Only date we extract from that. You saw na yesterday. Lot of details were there, but we extract only date.
That is different. Yesterday's data, it was a structured one, and now I'm talking about an unstructured data.
Okay. Okay.
Just imagine, just think and say, you know, what are all the words which are not at all required for gaining some information or knowledge from that. Does the word is...
So this is, ma'am, this is ungrouped data. No? This is ungrouped data. So we are collecting so many information from sold Johnson & Johnson, no? So we are getting ungrouped data. So we are collecting. So average data we have to collect and percentage we have to get it. So this product is highly sold from the market. Like that we have to say, ma'am.
Okay, sir, I'll tell you. You have collected all the tweets. Does the word is make any sense here? Does the word is and are, does this kind of words
No,
make
ma'am.
any sense?
No.
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 The product name.
So what-
The product name by
Yes.
exactly they.
Other than that, other than the product name, definitely there will be a lot of words, right? Those words are not at all required, and words which does not help you to get some meaning, those words can be removed. We call them as stop words. So those words can be removed. That is the filtration process, right? You say, imagine you have 1 terabyte of data, right? And you can apply filter. So when you apply filter, you can remove all those words. So once you remove all those words, you get a subset of data which will be more meaningful for your application. That is your filtration process. Okay, and then comes the map operation. Where in map you can count, say if it is Johnson's baby soap, and how many occurrences of baby soap, or how many occurrences of baby shampoo, or how many occurrences of baby oil. So this oil, soap, shampoo. So you can take a count of these words, right? That can be your map operation, right? And you will not do this from a single machine, since the volume of the data is very high. It will be in a distributed environment. So from one machine will have 1 terabyte of data, another machine will have another terabyte of data, and the third machine will have another terabyte of data. And you are applying filter on all the three machines. Your first machine will take care of the first terabyte of data, and it will filter. It removes all the stop word. The same process is done by the second machine and also by the third machine. And finally, map operation takes place on each machine. So your map operation is applied to the filtered data on each machine, right? So your first machine counts that the word oil occurs 1 lakh of time the word oil occurs, and your second machine finds that oil occurs 50,000 times, and your third node detects that the word oil occurs 2 lakhs. Likewise, you can count what is the word count for oil, what is the word count for shampoo. The same way, your 3 machines gives different counts, right? And this is what your map operation. Now you have to bring down all the answers to one node and you can reduce them, right? So try to bring all the mapped operation results to one machine, and in that one machine you can apply this reduce operation. From there you can add the total oil count